the Rogue Invitational is kind of our next step towards the CrossFit Games, and it's a little different this year with the change up with sanction events compared to regionals. And the sanction events are a little less stressful now that we both have a ticket to the games. And previous years we would be going to regionals around this time, and your whole year was riding on one weekend. And now we have the opportunity to go to some sanction events and enjoy competing and performing and practicing. I think that's the biggest key to these sanction events, is walking away learning something about ourselves as an athlete. And I think that the games has always done that to us. Regionals has always done that to us. But both of those, the regionals is, you take a chance at regionals and something doesn't go your way, that's it. Your whole year could be done. At the games, you can take those chances, but when you're there, that's your test, and then you come back and you have another full year before you go back, and you're working on all the things that were exposed in competition that year with the athletes that were competing with you. So these sanction events have some of the best athletes in the world showing up, and we have the opportunity to go and compete, take some chances, and see where we're at leading up to the CrossFit Games, so we can make adjustments to our training and be more prepared to compete.
So I think they're gonna make the Rogue as like a games. Really, they're not announcing much. We know that we're gonna have to shoot pistols, so that's gonna be fun. I'm practicing that. And the only pistols that I ever shot was paintball, and I'm not good at paintball shooting. So I'm looking forward to seeing just how I can manage that too. That'll be fun for everyone though, something different. Thank you.
Good luck, Fee.
Thank you. Best. Good luck wishes. I feel like every time we compete, mentality members, they come in strong. I love it.
What you allow in your presence is the standard. Those are the words that adorn the walls here at Rogue Fitness in Columbus, Ohio. And today, we are definitely in the presence of excellence, as the top athletes from CrossFit's past and present are here to compete in the 2019 Rogue Invitational.
First event in any competition, everybody is just like guns blazing as soon as 3, 2, 1 happens. And I think that I've learned that more and more, that you need to stay calm, you need to stay relaxed, and you need to stick to your plan. And I knew that event was very different for everyone. I don't know many other regionals or sanction events that had created something like that, where people had been tested in that way. So it was a uncertainty for all of us as athletes. So we really, you could see people were just like a little unsure on what were the rope climbs going to feel like with a backpack strapped to you as you were going up, and how hard can you run before you had to pick up a 200-pound sandbag. And I think that coming out on that first event, there was just excitement, and we just weren't sure what was going to happen.
First of 8 events for the women is underway, and we begin with 3 rope climbs wearing that 20-pound ruck pack.
going into that, I was a little bit nervous just because it's not something that I train often, and we're gonna start to get into that more, but my mindset going into it was more, okay, you know, you've done everything you've done up to this point and your training is gonna pay off regardless how this event goes, but kind of just trusting my strength, trusting what I'm able to do going into it and staying calm even though we're carrying some odd objects and things are feeling a little bit different. So starting the weekend at Rogue, I just focused on every event one at a time.
It's Amanda .25, and a couple years ago we added some rounds to start, and that was Amanda 45. This one, though, we're adding rounds on the back end.
And these ladies still have it. They have nothing in the tank right now, but the biggest thing is the 3 and the 1, they're just the mental reps. They're like, because you know it's one. The first one always feels a little funky, but that last one can also get a little funky too.
Exactly.
We had, at that point, we had completed 3 events, and we finished with Amanda 2.5 with ring muscle ups and squat snatches. And it's been like 2 years since I've actually done it. And a couple of days prior, when the Rogue events came out, Scott was asking, like, what's your unbroken Amanda? And I've never done Amanda unbroken, the ring muscle ups and squat snatches, the 975, which is what's typically written as Amanda. So after that day, I ended up going back to the gym and running through Amanda. And my intentions were like, okay, unbroken Amanda, we're gonna go unbroken as we can, and I'm just gonna do 975. And then I finished it. It was going to plan, to strategy. So I got to 5, I was like, oh, might as well do 3 and 1. And so I only ended up practicing Amanda once. I was able to go into the weekend. I know what I need to do. I know what I could hang on to. I know how much rest I need to take to keep the reps unbroken. And so it was comfortable going into Amanda 2.25, and it went to strategy. And the only thing I regret is not pushing a little bit harder.
Look at those muscle ups, super smooth.
Her hips get so high, it really helps her get up over the rings.
Fee Saghafi hops off. She has 1 rep remaining at 95 pounds. And Fee Saghafi will hit that, and she will take the opening heat.
I ended up finishing up my master's in business and administration at John Carroll, and I finished my program in December, but graduation was the same weekend, so I was supposed to walk at graduation the same weekend as Rogue, and I knew going into it my parents weren't going to be so happy about the decision going to some CrossFit competition over, you know, walking at graduation with a higher education, higher diploma. At first they weren't supportive of it, they were just upset, and for me, I didn't feel like I sacrificed anything. I was doing something that made me happy, and I was doing something that was for me. And I think competing at Rogue really was just a great way for me to continue to do what I love. Me walking at graduation just would have, the entire time, I probably would have just been thinking of being at Rogue. And I told my parents, I was able to talk to them and just say, this is what I love to do. This is something that has gotten me through so many hard times in my life, that not going into this weekend and not performing at Rogue for me would just almost be devastating in a way, because who's to say that I get that same opportunity next year? So regardless of not walking at graduation, even though that's where they wanted me, them going to Rogue was so special, because they could have easily said, you know what, if this is what you want to do, go get a hotel, pay it on your own, you know, we'll see you at home. And they didn't. They accepted it, even though they weren't the happiest parents in the world. They accepted it, and they went all in on supporting me financially, supporting me by being there. And it really just shows how much the support really means. Like, I wouldn't be able to do anything that I'm doing without my family supporting me, and without the family that I have here in Mentality, with the opportunities that have been presented. Like, I'm I'm nothing without my family, and they mean the world to me.
The clean ladder for Scott was obviously all of our favorite moments from the Rogue weekend. Not just because he won the workout, but I feel like it's the people that are with him and the behind the scene moments. So anytime there's a long weekend of competition like Rogue, there's ups and downs. And I remember sitting in the back with Scott. He was eating lunch. He was really tired. It was the last day. And him being like, I feel like I just don't have that extra gear. And anytime something doesn't go right in competition, you're going to have those moments. And I feel like it's my job to be like, you do have it. You're fine. You're good. Like, that's my job. So for him to have had that moment in the back, and everybody's tired, everybody is exhausted. So when you go into these big events, you have to forget all of that. You have to forget that you're tired. You have to forget that you've done 8 other events, and you have to get hungry. And you can see it in Scott's face when he steps out onto the floor in an event that he's hungry for. He gets this like blood in the water look on his face, and then he has a moment of like soaking in the atmosphere, and you can like see it. He'll like start bopping his head to the movement or the music, and then he'll freeze, and he just gets this like, I'm gonna get you look on his face.
The 2019 Rogue Invitational coming to a close. Just one event remaining for the men here. Here we go. He will step up to 305, 2 reps remaining.
Having the Rogue Invitational in Columbus was like having home field advantage. We had a lot of our members that came down from CrossFit Mentality. Our entire squad of friends were down there just yelling their faces off. I think their voices were gone probably within the first event. So just having that support system down there and knowing that you have those people with you and they want to see you succeed as bad as you want to succeed, it makes it more of an exciting weekend. Like I felt like I had those people on the floor with me. When I stood up my last clean and I went into it, I'm like, the people from Mentality want this. They want this as bad as you. Like, let's go. Like, get under that bar. They'll help you stand it up.
Panchik, meanwhile, this would be his second successful lift. Panchik's going to hit it, and Scott Panchik will win the event. Matt Fraser will take second.
I told our squad that the moment I finished that squat clean ladder, if you watch the video, I look over and I look to see if Matt finished, and I knew I got over the bar, and I was like, there was this moment where I was like, yes, like for me. And then you could see me like turn and look up at the stands, and I was like, that one was for you guys. Like, I just felt like they were with me on the floor and they wanted it as bad. I'm like, this is for you guys. Like, let's go. I think these days have really helped me enjoy the process and the people in my life that have really helped me accomplish the things that I have up until this point. And I think behind every successful person is a team, and that team is like the unsung hero. They pick you up when you're down, they're cooking you meals, they're fixing you up when you're broken, and you know, they're whispering, they're that positive voice in your ear just whispering, you can do this, you know, remember why you started. And I think you have to have those people in your life, because at some point things are not going to go your way. And if you have those people in your life, they're going to pick you up when you're down, and you're going to do the same for them. And I think that's what makes life worth living.